Welcome to We Network. On session 3 part 2 data storage management on the data security topic. In this session we are going to cover topic man in the middle attacks, viruses and Trojan horses, storage system security, the role of storage security in enterprise data protection, data security, security vectors for storage, and a separate network for management, hard zoning in Apple network, virtual fabrics, and the use of encryption. Next, in the word, as you know about in the previous session, we have studied about the attack. Now we are going to discuss about the man in middle attack. What is the meaning here? The man in the middle attack that occur when hacker has hijacked your protection. You protect a connection you make here and it is hijacked with some another person using a computer that is mimics both end of a network connection. The attacker make each end appear to be talking to the other when in fact both end are talking to hacker computer. That means to say that means using computer our computer के through over network पे आप attack कर रहे हो और some getting data which is sent by one user to the another. So the hacker attacked on the data on the network that is sent by one user to the another. So that is man in middle of attack. Let's say here the man in middle with the reply that this diagram here show that in the middle you see the attack computer and the server and user. Server is here from which it's getting the data and from the attacker computer getting data to the another is the user. See the diagram. Here the user getting data from the server, but in the middle there is a attacker computer who is getting data in between. So what it say that attacker look like the user to the server what he is getting, and then the attacker launches replay attack based on information from the server. Means here the data what the user want that is the exchange by between of the attacker that's he can get from the server, but attacker getting it and then it's sending to after moderation to the user. So attackers are receiving the information from the server and the attacker looks like the server to the user, but the user didn't know that he's getting data from this server. Actually the data is getting from this attacker side, so data is changed here. So it is a problem can be arise here. Now more about here I would like to tell in the middleman the replay. When the information is that gained from the man in the middle attack, the hacker can launch a replay attack, assuming that identity of one of the endpoint of conversation. The hacker computer send it on its data and the message to the other end. This is the diagram represented here. This next topic is the virus and the Trojan horses. That is what you know everyone very well. You are using antivirus in your computer. What is the basic purpose of antivirus? To protect your data from the viruses. What kind of virus? The main virus that every antivirus first catch is the Trojan horse. What do you is here meaning of the Trojan horse? That viruses consist of a computer code. You know the meaning of virus? That is the computer code that usually very impact. So this is carried to a computer from a download file, message or email. Viruses attempt to hide themselves and can often attach themselves to the other program. I hope it is very clear to you. It is a programming which can come from the downloading, email, messaging, and it hides itself, but it often attaches themselves by the other program. And what represent in front of you about and the one thing that I told you, it attach itself and then run the program. They remain resident in the memory and are reloaded when the infected program run. When you run that virus infected program, it enters your system and they cause harmful. Some virus automatically duplicated it themselves by sending email containing the virus everyone in the user address book. So other leave behind a small program that open a network connection and allow the attacker to get access infected host over the network. So next is here about that is in front of you slide that shows that Trojan horse the program that seems anonymous but are really misleading code. That is that code kind which make there some effective. And here the next that is that they look harmless or even beneficial but not what they seem. The viruses some cause the harmful effect but some can be beneficial. Like antivirus software you are using, doesn't mean that there is no virus. There is something virus that make beneficial to your system, but it's blocking those viruses which make harmful to your system. So it's same way some virus that is some harmless and some harmful and some beneficial. So they when activated act and they work way similar to the viruses. Here the most common the most obnoxious thing about Trojan horse is that they really on the assistance of the user themselves. This make them malicious and rude. That is here the rude here activates some वायरस एक्टिवेट होने की वजह से आपके टाइम होता है वो आपके सिस्टम में एंटर होने के बाद डुप्लीकेट्स कॉपी जनरेट स्टार्ट हो जाती हैं. दैट्स मेक द प्रॉब्लम हियर. Next is here about the well activated act very similar. Now the storage system security. In the storage system security, आपको जैसे कि वैसे से वायरसेस होते हैं जो आपके सिस्टम में अगर एंटर हो जाए तो उसकी वजह से आपके सिस्टम में कई प्रॉब्लम्स आ जाती हैं. तो इस चीज़ को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए वेरी नेसेसरी है कि आप अपने सिस्टम को प्रोटेक्ट करके रखें, स्टोर कर रखें. तो इसके लिए हमें क्या होता है सम स्टोरेज सिस्टम रिक्वायर होता है. तो दिस स्टोरेज सिस्टम इज लाइक स्टोरेज सिक्योरिटी एंड security that is an area that is often ignored and in the data protection plans, and that is means here you are protecting your system from these viruses. So these viruses here protecting your system from this virus, antivirus kind you can use to protect your system. So these are unfortunate because protecting data from harm means making sure that nothing can happen to it. So it's not enough to be able to restore damage or destroy data after the fact. That is here fact that it is the more protective from the damage from the first that is the place you can use here. And that is the storage security focus basically on the main storage and main the storage here and storage system environment to be safe here. To make this your system secure, is very necessary to make your system secure from this virus, and some DAS devices that sold the solid server and application security are enough to secure. And this network storage are involved like SAN that is and NAS that you allowed to that allowed you to be host and the direct access to storage. So it's a way through which you can protect your system from the viruses. And the next we see that here this diagram. Let's see about this diagram. Here in the diagram you will see that this data protection is working on the system. Data protection what? From this viruses obviously. So in the virus that show that in the bottom one the device through which it's coming and the device through it's entering, and after that it is applying here the SAN security that's shown here some kind of the lock, and after that there is the management, and some management apply on the data management like encryption that we already previous in section we discussed about encryption. And after that is information. What is basically? Information is basically what you are sending, that is to be protected by some SAN security and encryption, and through which you can work here. Now it's data protection that make your data secure. That we have this already discussed about Trojan horses, that program its announce and code that make very harmful. These are ways through which you need to protect your system very well. And the next is about, we discuss about what is DAS, direct access storage security, as we discussed earlier about what is the DAS. Now direct access storage is so tightly coupled with the host computer that there is little one can do to add security to the storage, and the level of trust that between a DAS, this is direct access storage device, to its host by designing very high, and almost any additional security would inhibit their ability to operate. Like what is here, it's mean to say that in direct accessing, that coupling is coding is very hard to make your data secure, which is not able to easily break up by any viruses to make your harm on your system. So its design is very high to make your system much and much secure. And about the SAN, that in the previous diagram we see that make the security. It is easy to think of the storage area, that is we are discussing about SAN is the full form of storage area network. So it's easy to think about the storage area network, but specifically the fiber channel like SAN are actually secure. FC system are after all closed system. Storage arrays and tape library are not directly accessible from desktop machine or network. They must be accessed from fiber channel, host, bus adapter, and this is installed in a trusted server. Let's see that in front of the slide that mention here, the safety of the SAN, that is storage area network, is therefore in hand of the server, and SAN device have a totally trusting relationship with the server, that is the data means we secure here that access them, and the problem start when intruder gains access to the server. When intruder gained access to the server, that is access to the server, and gain has opened the path of the storage. What is here the meaning? Basically getting the storing about by the server by the using the SAN here. Here the more about security practice of the storage, that there are many hurdles of the system architect who are trying to craft a secure storage system. The foremost of these is a lack of support for security in the product and protocol used to build enterprise storage system. That what is here I'd like to say that in the secure practice of the storage, that's very service strategies we have in enhancing day by day source storing our system, but these are the cost very much to implement here. But these strategies will set obstacle in the path, that is the miscellaneous of unwitting and some separate network will be seen here about next slide. There is some, fortunately there are several strategies that can be used for security storage that do not cost very much implement, and these are always case with the system security. One of these practices can guarantee that intruder wouldn't damage data in the storage system. So these strategies will however set obstacles, means here the problems, and the problems you can say strategy means problems, the obstacles you can see the problems which arise here and in the path of the miscellaneous and the unwitting. Next we will discuss about the separate network for management made in here security practice. What is here done? This miscellaneous of the precious is the management, that is one of the best vector for the miscellaneous of the precious of the management interface and the storage system device. What management do actually here, that interface is the must to be kept on completely separate network to ensure that there is no path to the device from anywhere on the main LAN or especially the internet. What is here? The device anywhere on the main LAN and especially on the internet based device. So it is very convenient to the storage administrator to have access from the standard desktop computer. That is that very convenient for storage administrator. We are having administrator point is that make access storage from the data that cannot be accessed by some unauthorized person. So that is very convenient for storage administrator to have access from the standard desktop computer for a device he manage, and unfortunately his desktop access provide opportunity for other to see, perhaps even access device management feature. But at best this provide include and valuable intelligence. Here a more likely scenario, that is the network connection is used as the basis of the attack. The best defense is to have management interface on completely separate network. This network should also be accessible only from dedicated network workstation, and a workstation that has access to both the main network and management network that may itself be used as platform for attack on storage system. Some of the IP storage poses as a bit of the problem for similar reasons. If the storage device are accessible from the main network, they may be exposed to attack from computer on the network. Unlike the management interface that through the host need to access the IP storage device, they in turn must be accessed by other hosts such as desktop computers. Now the best solution that we have to separate IP network for the storage system, and that only the host can access here. Host should be double homed, having two Ethernet card attached to separate network, and a firewall should be placed between the host and the IP storage device. Next is here we discussing about the hard zoning in FC network, that is of fiber channel. About SAN storage area network should use the zoning in some of the form. It is surprising how the other often a SAN and but put in the place without it. That is because there is no default showing the fiber channel. Fiber channel network believe all hosts to be trusted and hence work under a default allow posture that we discussed already in the previous deny and allow. Allow means it's allowing the access to the other network, other user, and zoning that is the doesn't truly change this because any host not in the zone has access to any non-zone resources, but it is better than nothing. That is how hard zoning is the preferred to soft zoning, and soft zoning is susceptible to wide variant network and spoofing for similar host attack because it is based on the host bus and adapter and not the fiber channel merge switch. So on the other hand, hard zoning is based on the switch port. This makes more difficult for the host to the based on afford an attack by overcoming the zoning and restriction it also previously by the World Wide Web of the spoofing. Next is the virtual fabrics. About the virtual fabric, that is each host that assign virtual fabric that is not as physically exists, that must be the same that Ethernet host can be as VLAN, and the most important is the actual virtual fabric has own set of fabric service. This is different from zoning. If major fabric services, simple the name server and the zoning service itself are shared by all nodes and entire fabric. The intruder can find a way to circumvent and disrupt these services. This may cause damage of this storage area network. And the next about the storage application and host security. In the the storage application and the host security, it is hard for intruder to damage the storage systems. If they cannot get them in the first place, storage host security is much a part of storage system security. So it's server security. Specifically, what are the following? It's shown the figure in front of the slide is that tight access control is a must. Limit user access to the host, especially processing running in their own, such as Unix daemons that is in the background, and the place strict that restriction on which user can run storage utilities, and any storage utility that doesn't have to be on the host should be removed, and restrict the ability for a program to be loaded over the network. This will make it difficult for intruder to place utility on the host and directly access the storage resources via the CSCI by some commands. And next is here the use more about we are discussing about SAN system management software. The SAN will have some of the changes that would indicate that attack has happened, that its progress or better yet about it to happen. Most SAN management software is capable for discovering host via the host bus adapter and service as they enter the network. That's we need to be protected the system by the system management software, and make some viruses need to protect our data from some viruses, and the use encryption is another way through which we can make efficiently protect our data. And it is be assumed that despite the best effort, an intruder will penetrate the defense on the storage. The defense will make the data much secure by this way. And at this point, one of them might also be assume that the intruder will be able to steal lots of important information before performing any other activity that is harmful. Now, what's this here in front of you? The side benefit of having the data encrypted, and encryption make it less likely that professional hacker will break in. But they won't waste their time stealing, and data cannot be saved, used or sold. So it's like robbing an empty house. This is the exercise that you can try by yourself. Is explain different type of attacks. Write short note on the SAN and DAS security. This is all about this session. We are winding up here. Thank you so much. Happy learning. We learn.